Stocks are on the slide again as President Trump cut short his trip to the G7. It's Tuesday, 17th of June, and here's what you need to know. Markets are lower around the world this morning as the conflict between Israel and Iran enters its fifth day. President Trump urged Iranians to leave Tehran as Israeli airstrikes fell on the city. The president cut short his trip to the G7 in Canada, although he denied remarks by French President Emmanuel Macron that he was working on a ceasefire. Reports say the US president has called a meeting of the National Security Council. You may have missed that Iran's oil exports have now essentially ground to a halt since the conflict started on Friday. According to analytics firm Kepler, Iran is only on track to export about 102,000 barrels this week, compared to an average of 1.7 million. Most of that goes to China, which now needs to buy its oil from elsewhere, and oil markets have been volatile again this morning. At one point earlier, they jumped 2%. Our chart of the day is the Japanese yen against the dollar. That's lost some ground after a cautious meeting from the Bank of Japan. Policymakers there held rates steady at 0.5%, but they said they are getting more nervous about the impact of US tariffs on trade around the world. The Bank of Japan plans to slow the rate at which it sells off bonds from next year, saying it needed to move more cautiously to support the Japanese economy. Its bond holdings are roughly the same size as the whole Japanese economy. Our number of the day is 25%. That's the tariff that will still be charged on Britain's steel exports to the US after the two countries signed a deal at the G7 in Canada. That's the first trade agreement that the Trump administration has reached with any country. Britain's negotiators were hoping to get that steel tariff down to zero, but talks are still ongoing. The deal does reduce tariffs on Britain's exports of cars and its aerospace industry. And watch out later for US retail sales data for May. That number's forecast to come in lower by 0.7% as economic uncertainty starts to weigh on American shoppers. Also out today are import and export prices. These are the last data points Federal Reserve policymakers will see before they set rates tomorrow. And that's what you need to know this morning.